The story, the portrait that kills. In a house on the outskirts of a small American town, there was something that sent shivers down the spines of the locals. Rumor had it that anyone who entered the abandoned mansion never came back. The source of these rumors was a painting hanging in the central living room. A portrait of a woman in a black dress with a chilling, piercing gaze. The painting had arrived in the house many years ago. It was brought by William Montgomery, an antique collector known for his passion for rare items. He claimed to have found it in Europe in a ruined church. The artist was unknown, but the quality of the work was astounding. The details were so lifelike that it felt as if the woman in the portrait was watching you, no matter where you stood in the room. A few days after the painting took its place on the wall, life in the house began to change. First, the family cat went missing. Then, William started noticing oddities. At night, footsteps echoed from the room where the portrait hung, and in the morning, the chair facing the painting would be slightly moved, as if someone had been sitting there all night. At first, he dismissed it as fatigue and imagination, but soon the events became too obvious to ignore. The real horror began later. William's wife, Sarah, started complaining of nightmares. She dreamed that the woman in the portrait stepped out of the frame and whispered chilling words into her ear. The dreams grew more vivid until one morning Sarah disappeared. William tried to tell the police about the strange painting, but they didn't believe him. Shortly after, William vanished too, leaving the house abandoned. The legend of the painting spread through the town, turning into a scary story for children. It was said that anyone who stared at the portrait for too long would fall victim to its curse. The woman in the painting would take their soul, leaving behind only emptiness. People were afraid even to walk past the abandoned mansion, especially at night, when a silhouette could sometimes be seen in one of the windows. Years later, a young student named Emma, who was studying paranormal phenomena, came to town. She had heard the legends about the portrait and decided to dedicate her research to uncovering its mystery. In the town library, she stumbled upon William Montgomery's old journal, where he described the strange occurrences related to the painting. Each entry became darker and more unsettling. The final lines read, "Her eyes come alive when darkness falls on the house. I'm afraid even to breathe while she watches me." Despite her fear, Emma decided to visit the house. She prepared thoroughly, bringing a camera, a flashlight, and a small mirror that was rumored to repel evil spirits. The abandoned mansion greeted her with a hollow silence. Each creak of the stairs sounded like a warning of impending doom. In the central room, the portrait hung on the wall. Its eyes seemed to follow her every move. She set up her camera and began examining the painting. At first, nothing strange happened. But after a few hours, her flashlight started to flicker. Shadows in the corners of the room seemed to come to life, and Emma heard whispers. She turned and saw the woman in the portrait beginning to move. Her hand slowly extended out of the frame. Emma panicked and tried to run, but the door slammed shut. Words began to appear on the walls, written by an invisible hand. "Once you've seen me, you belong to me." She realized that the painting was not just a piece of art, but a portal to a dark realm. The woman in the portrait was the spirit of a long-dead witch who had found a way to prolong her life by stealing souls. She regarded Din. Desperate to stop the evil, Emma remembered a note in William's journal. "You can't burn it. She will grow stronger. The only way to defeat her is to take away her reflection." Emma quickly turned the mirror toward the painting. An ear-splitting scream filled the room. The walls shook, and the portrait began to crack. Suddenly, everything fell silent. The painting darkened, and the woman disappeared. But the house no longer felt empty. Every corner, every shadow seemed to hold a sinister presence. Emma ran out of the house, but when she turned back, she saw the painting hanging in its place again. This time, a new face appeared on it, her own. Her journal was later found near the house. The final entry read, "I thought I had won, but she always wins. Run if you find this." Since then, no one has dared to enter the house again, but they say that sometimes, if you look closely at the window, you can see a woman in a black dress staring directly at you.